It was the summer of 1982 when Stephen Callahan was sailing all alone in the middle of the Atlantic. His small sailboat was sank by a storm, leaving him adrift in a tiny inflatable rubber raft. Naked except for a t-shirt, and with only 3 pounds of food, a few pieces of gear, and 4 liters of water, Callahan drifted for 76 days. The current carried him for over 1,800 miles before he reached land and rescue in the Bahamas.
There are many such stories of survival throughout history, and all of them have a common thread of people finding the strength to stay alive when their circumstances turn desperate. And while right now most of us are not adrift in the middle of an ocean, icebound in the Arctic, or lost in the Amazonian rainforest, we are living in times where the pressures we are subjected to by the world make us feel like we are in a survival situation.
Economic depression and the 2020 that seems to be set on delivering only bad news are chipping away at our sanity. All this considered, some of us might feel at ease if our only worry was how to catch a fish in the middle of the ocean. Can we learn something from stories of extreme survival? Could these unique experiences help us cope with what is happening around us today?
While there are animals that thrive in inhospitable conditions, they do so because of a very long evolutionary process that shaped them. Humans, with their tool making and analytical skills, can survive in almost any environment on Earth, far beyond the habitat they evolved in. We have an astonishing ability to quickly adapt to changing circumstances.
Of course, a naked human could not survive in the Arctic Circle or in the middle of the Pacific. In fact, a naked human wouldn't survive in many places of the world. But we spread all over the planet because we were able to build tools that helped us not only to survive, but live comfortably almost anywhere.
With the benefits of central heating in places like Northern Europe, safe and efficient food storage and delivery, mass manufactured warm clothing and vehicles, we can safely say that most of us are protected from nature's wrath. As a consequence, our instinct for survival has dulled significantly, even though there are not many biological differences between us and our ancestors from 200,000 years ago. Their main preoccupations revolved around finding shelter, getting their next meal, and avoiding being eaten by other animals. Ours are mostly fears of losing the comfort we got used to.
From the standpoint of our ancestors, modern life is awesome. We work less, and our meals are infinitely more diverse and nutritious. We won't discuss here that this diversity comes with many very unhealthy options. Our homes are warm, our societies provide relative security, and we have access to information and entertainment. It is also quite unlikely that we'll get eaten by another animal. But this world is relatively recent, and we do not yet understand how so many inputs of information affect a brain that was mainly built for survival in nature.
2020 has brought a new natural threat to our health and comfort in the form of a virus, on top of our growing list of problems as a civilization. You might have lost your job, you're not sure you can afford rent, and you're afraid for your health, not to mention the countless people who lost their lives during the pandemic. And even if you are fortunate enough not to be in one or all of the above situations, it is still hard to escape the feeling that the walls are closing in.
So maybe it's time to look at a few stories from humans thrown into extreme circumstances to see how they coped when their prospects for making it out alive looked beyond hopeless. Getting back to the example in the beginning, Stephen Callahan lived off half a liter of water a day, and what he managed to catch from the ocean with his limited supplies for 76 days.
Even though Callahan was alone, his mind divided into a captain character and a crewman character. When the crewman wanted to drink more water than was rationed, the captain would stop him. Callahan credits his survival to letting the captain character take over. This is a good example of how we can harness our willpower to get through using limited resources. Even if a situation seems desperate, we have the necessary ability to overcome it if we take a firm decision to do so, and use our knowledge to prioritize resources and our reasoning to find solutions.
Another inspiring example is the Lyukov family. In 1946, this Russian family of four, husband, wife, and two children, moved into the Siberian wilderness to escape religious persecution. They took with them some supplies and survived by farming, hunting, fishing, and trapping. They built a series of huts, had two more children, and managed to live undisturbed by the world for over 50 years. Their success was not easy. For several winters, they were at the edge of starvation, but through careful management of resources, like always saving seeds to replant in the following spring, they managed to find a balance with their wild surroundings. All decisions about what to plant and how to distribute their food were taken in a family council.
The Lukovs had two big assets going for them: their faith and their devotion to each other. Although you might not be religious, it is always essential to have a goal or a life mission to give you something to fight for in the hardest of times. The second lesson we can learn from them is that we don't always have to face our troubles alone. Family or friends can be an important resource in finding solutions for life's problems. And even if they can't help, be sure that there are other kindred spirits in the world who might share and understand your mission and problems.
And one final lesson comes from Margaret Köpke. She was 17 when her plane exploded mid-air over the Amazonian rainforest. Her fall was cushioned by the thick jungle canopy, and she found herself on the ground, still strapped to her seat, with a broken collarbone and a few other cuts and bruises. She never had any survival training and no gear. The only thing she knew is that people in the Amazon usually settle near a river. For 9 days, she followed the stream until she found shelter and rescue.
Her story serves to remind us that we do not need to know everything or have resources to find a way out of difficulties. Sometimes the key can be in having the right bit of knowledge, knowing where you have to get and sticking to the path. Fortunately, most of us will never face such situations, though it does not mean we don't feel justifiably pressured in today's world. But these survival stories show us that we are capable of much more than we give ourselves credit for.
Being an expert in a field or having the right tools definitely helps in having a better life. But if you are not in this position, there is absolutely no reason to give up. Even if you have nothing now and your knowledge is seemingly limited, a life mission, willpower, and the discipline to follow your path will always increase your chances of getting through to the other side. There is no reason to despair. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other.